Yeah, you've probably done 300 podcasts at this point, and you told me what you believe is the factual number of being a guest on over 4,000 shows.
I actually didn't even want to do it. About 10 years ago, the mastermind group I was in, Dan Miller was in the group, the guy that owns 48 Days to the Work You Love. And Dan told me when I started coaching, he goes, "Hey, Big A, you should really be a guest on podcast." I fell in love with it that day because we just had a candid conversation. We just went back and discovered who each other was and talked about what little success we might have had. Relationships matter most is my number one core value. I'll be 64 my next birthday and got 44 years of marriage and a bunch of grandkids. And I feel like maybe I have a few nuggets to offer and then hopefully allow people to dodge some of the landmines I've had to go through. 3,000 shows I've been on, and I've been the host on about 1,000 expert interviews and podcast interviews. Aaron Walker today is first and foremost, I'm a Christ follower. I've been a Christian since I was 9 years old. Second, I'm Robin Walker's husband, 44 years tomorrow, actually, June 21st.
Wow.
I'm a father of two beautiful girls, Brooke and Holly, and I have 5 grandchildren. What I do professionally is I'm the founder of View from the Top. I help ordinary men become extraordinary in every area of their life. We've got 15 mastermind groups. We do live events and we do one-on-one coaching. I'm an eternal optimist. And like I have been my whole career. My mom was really instrumental in that. There was a little saying when I was a kid, she would say, can't, couldn't do it, but could, did it all. The only thing we're in complete control over is our attitude. Nothing else
Mm.
we can control. But I've elected to be an optimist my entire life. I fear missing an opportunity more than I fear failure. I started my first business when I was 19 years old. And about 10 years later, we sold it to a Fortune 500. And that allowed me to try some pretty cool things that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten to try. Maybe don't give up at the third headwind, right? Just keep pushing. I've learned that, okay, like we can't go through that door, but what does this make possible? What is the avenue that we can go if this doesn't work and possibly even be a better approach? I went and fell in love with it. So we spent the next 10 or 12 years meeting every Wednesday morning in Dave's office for about an hour and a half with 10 other guys, and it radically changed my life. Almost simultaneously, I had an automobile accident. I ran over and killed a pedestrian on my way to the office. And I was in a bad spot, Justin, just to be honest with you. Mentally and emotionally, I was in a bad spot. I realized that in order to be in here, I needed to be vulnerable. And that was a scary place for me to be because I was a little bit cocky. You really wouldn't have had me on your show back then because I had done pretty well by the time I was 27 years old and I thought I had it all figured out. And the truth is, I didn't. Going into this group, it forced me to be vulnerable and transparent. And when I did, I found out that I was really building on something that was kind of shaky ground. My wife walked up
Mm.
to me and she said, "Thank you for our home, our vacation home, all of our stuff. It's beautiful." And I'm very appreciative. But I really need you at home. The girls need you at home. All you do is work. John Lee Dumas had me on the show. And the next day, I had 15 people sign up for one on one coaching. And I went to Robin and I said, I don't even want to coach 15 people. Like, I just want to coach a couple of guys. It's giving them a measure of success and significance, and it's transforming lives. So you said I was chasing happiness with all of these tangible assets. I was looking at success financially, and never should we minimize the value of success financially. I can't stand it when people say money doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It's very, very vital and it's very important. It helps us make, decisions that we otherwise couldn't make, and it pays the mortgage and we're able to give money away. So it's vital. But the key is that I want to own money. I don't want it to own me.
Mm.
And you said it didn't make me happy. And that's because happiness is a choice, not a trait. And that's the reason being significant in the lives of others gives you that satisfaction that fills you up. It's being the giver and not the taker. And that's what mastermind groups have allowed me to understand. So my desire is to be an inch wide and a mile deep. and I want to prioritize the things that matter. And so when we do that, we can make a huge impact. I would say invest in meaningful relationships sooner. For me, everything is about relationships. And the people that are isolated, that is the enemy to excellence. Invest in meaningful relationships with unbiased, trusted advisors that can help catapult your life to the next level.